and welcome to the first White Rose lesson after our holiday. Now, over the next few weeks, we will be looking at written methods for both multiplication and division. Today, we will start with multiplication, and we'll start by looking at this question here. Dora uses base 10 equipment to work out 34 times 3. So what Dora has done is she has partitioned the number 34 into 3 tens and 3 ones, 4 ones, sorry. And she has multiplied the 3 tens by 3, 1, 2, 3, and she has multiplied the 4 ones by 3, 1, 2, 3, and worked out the answers. So for our first question, we have got 3 times 30 equals 90. And on this side, we have got 3 times 4 equals 12. And then we can add the two sections together. So 90 and 12 is 102. Now you are asked to use base 10 to do the same thing. I don't expect you to have base 10 at home. So we're just going to look at a simpler way of doing it. I'll start by doing 3 times 28. So 3 times 28 is the same as saying 3 times 20, because this 2 has a value of 20, and 3 times 8. Okay, so 3 lots of 20 are 60, 3 groups of 8 are 24, add them together, and my answer is 84. Let's move on to the next question. 3 times 36. So once again, I'm going to partition my 36. 3 times 36 is 3 times 30, added to 3 times 6. 3 times 30 is 90. 3 times 6 is 18. So my answer should be 108. I'll write that in my box. Right, let's move on. Okay, so here class 4 are using a number line to solve the question 6 times 34. And then we're asked to talk about it. Well, let's just have a look at it very clearly. We have got 6 times 34. What I'm going to do to try and understand this question is I'm going to partition my 34 in the question. So I'm going to say I've got 6 times 30, add 6 times 4. Wow, we can see the 6 times 4 here at the end of the number line. It's also the same as 4 times 6 due to the law of commutativity. But what's going on here? Well, basically, 6 times 30 is the same as 30 times 6. And 30 is equivalent to 3 lots of 10. So if I want 30 multiplied by 6, I can have 10 times 6, add 10 times 6, add 10 times 6. And if we look here on our jumps, 10 times 6 is 60, add another 10 times 6 is 120, and then add another 10 times 6, which is 180. So if we have 180 and we add on our 24, our answer is 204. Let's try that with the next few examples. Okay, so we have got 5 times 32. So basically, we have got 3 lots of 10 times 5. So because we've got 30 times 5, and then we have got 2 times 5. Can you see how I got that? 32 partitioned is 30, 3 tens and 2. So I've got 30 times 5 and 2 times 5. Okay, so to do my 30 times 5, I am going to do 10 times 5, and then another 10 times 5, which is now 20 times 5, and then another 10 times 5, which is now 30 times 5. So if I count in 30s, 50s, I've got 0, I've got 50, I've got 100, and I've got 150. So 30 times 5 is 150. I then need to do 2 times 5. So 2 multiplied by 5 is 10. I'm going to add my 10 onto 150, and my answer is 160. Let's try another one. This time we've got 32 times 7. So I've got 30 times 7 and 2 times 7. Well, 30 times 7 is the same as 3 lots of 10 times 7. So 10 times 7 equals 70. And then I want another 10 times 7, which also equals 70. And then I want another 10 times 7, which also equals 70. So in total, I've got 3 lots of 10 times 7. 1, 2, 3. So counting in 70s, we have 0, 70, 140, and 210, which, as you'll probably notice, is the same as counting in 7s, but multiplied by 10, because 70 is 10 times greater than 7. But my question hasn't finished yet, because I now need to do the last bit, which is 2 times 7. So 2 multiplied by 7 equals 14. I'm going to add that on to my answer, and my overall answer is 224. Okay, last one. So this time I've got 4 times 56. So I have got 50 multiplied by 4, and I have got 6 multiplied by 4. I therefore need 5 groups of 10 times 4 to make 50 multiplied by 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 10 times 4, 10 times 4, 10 times 4, 10 times 4, and another 10 times 4. Okay, so counting in 40s, 10 times 4 is 40. So 0, 40, 80, 120, 160, 200. So what 50 times 4 is 200. And then I need to do the last part of my calculation, which is 6 times 4. Well, 6 times 4 is actually 24. So I'm going to add my 24 onto my equation, and then my answer is 224. Okay, let's move on. In our next question, Mo is also using a number line, but he has made a mistake. So what we need to do is spot the mistake. Okay, so I'm looking at here, and Mo's on his number line, he's used 2 lots of 10 times 7. So that is 20 times 7, and he's used 1 lot of 4 times 7. Okay, now I'm looking at the question. It is 7 times 34. So basically, Mo has used 1 group of 10 times 7 less than he should have. There should be 10 times 7 and 10 times 7 and another 10 times 7 and then also a 4 times 7. Let me show you that on the number line. Okay, so 34 times 7 is 30 times 7 and 4 times 7. So Mo quite rightly has counted up in groups of 10 times 7. So 10 times 7 here equals 70. Another 10 times 7 here is another 70. But we need a third 10 times 7, which is another 70 to make 30 times 7. So we've got 0, 70, 140, 210. And then Mo was right at the end to say 4 times 7 is 28. So we're going to add that onto our answer, and our answer is 238. 238. Okay, I hope you've got the hang of number lines now. If you haven't, here's another way, and Amir's way you might find a little bit easier than drawing out all of those number lines. So Amir, what he has done is he's taken his 43 and he has partitioned it into 40 and 3. He has said 40 times 5 and then 3 times 5, and then we combine the answer to get 250 at the end. And that is the way that Mrs. Eden would answer a question like this too. So let's whiz through these three answers. 32 times 6. So if I have 32 multiplied by 6, it is going to be 30 multiplied by 6 added to 2 multiplied by 6. Okay, change my pen colour. 30 times 6, well that's the same as 3 tens times 6. Well, 3 tens times 6 is 18 tens, which is 180. 2 times 6 is 12. So if I put those two answers together, my answer should be 192. Let's change the pen colour again and do the second question. 8 times 42. So I'm going to do 8 times 40, which is 320. I'm going to do 8 times 2, which is 16. I'm going to put the answers together and I am going to get 336. And finally, our last question, 7 times 31. So I'm going to have 7 times 30, which is 210. 7 times 1, which is 7, which means my overall answer is 217. We're getting there, children. You're doing very well. So this question is a problem. A farmer is calculating the number of sheep on her farm. She has 6 fields. I'm underlining the key information as I normally do. Each field has 35 sheep. Use a written method to work out how many sheep there are altogether. Well, the calculation we're doing is 6 groups of 35 or 35 groups of 6. So all I'm going to do to answer this question is partition my 35 into 30 and 5, and I'm going to do 30 multiplied by 5, and I'm going to do, multiplied by 6, and I'm going to do 5 multiplied by 6 to get my answers. So I've done that in a really silly way, haven't I? 30 times 6 is 180. 5 times 6 is 30. So our answer is 210. Okay. Now this last question is really up to you. Question says, here are 6 multiplications. Which of the ones can you do mentally and which ones would you use the arithmetic method for? Now, Mrs. Eden could use a mental arithmetic method for all of these because I'm really good at my times tables and I know lots of different tricks, but you might find it easier to write written methods. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to let you talk to work that one out yourself, maybe talk to somebody at home, but then have a look at these next few questions and try actually answering the questions using whichever methods you like. So for example, I'm just going to do 2 for you. 4 times 59. So if Mrs. Eden was looking at that, I would actually round my 59 up to 60. And I would do 4 times 60, which I know is 240. But I didn't want 4 times 60, I wanted 4 times 59. So I need to actually have 240 and take one lot of 6 away, which would give me 236. Sorry, take one lot of 4 away. 230, yeah, 236, I was right. And take one lot of 4 away. Okay, because it was 4 times 59, but I've done 4 times 60. So I've done one group of 4 too many. But you might have decided to do that same question by doing 4 times 50 added to 4 times 9. And 4 times 50 is 200, and 4 times 9 is 36. So my answer is still 236. There are lots of different ways you can answer all of these questions. Now, the answers are actually on your answer booklet, but just in case you haven't got that with you, I'll whiz through them now. 3 times 33, you should have 99. 5 times 36 is 180. 9 times 32 is 288. 7 times 21 is 147. And 6 times 25 is 150. And that's the end of your lesson for today. I hope you've picked up a few skills today. Don't worry if you haven't, we will be going over this again in the next few lessons. But make sure you send a dojo either to Mr. Smells or myself if you are struggling, and we'll see what we can do to help. Okay, take care. Bye.